Greetings, adventurers. This is Lorne, your guild advisor, and I'm sure all of you guys already know, or most of you do, who have been following DanMachi. But yes, the fourth season has been announced, and this was during the GA Bunko 15th anniversary festival. They had a lot of announcements during the entire event. Goblin Slayer got a season 2. A lot of their properties got their first season. So a lot of excitement happening for GA Bunko, and it does make a lot of sense that DanMachi would be getting a fourth season because DanMachi is pretty much their most popular series of their entire label. And of course, DanMachi is one of the top-selling light novels in Japan. So it's no surprise that DanMachi is getting a fourth season. I've talked about it post season 3, how I didn't really expect an anime to happen like within the next year, and technically I'm right because I didn't think we'd get an anime in 2021 because that, to me, that was way too soon. It seemed like season 2 and season 3 already planned ahead of time together. So this was announced for 2022 for season 4. So I'm still a tiny bit worried because it does still seem like an announcement that's a bit soon, though. However, it is a vague window of being 2022, and we don't know if that means like early 2022 or late. I'm really hoping for the later half, or at least not during winter like in January 2022. I still think that would be way too soon. They did not say what studio would be in charge of it quite yet. Again, based off how season 2 and season 3 were handled, I really don't want to see the same staff being involved. I think JC staff is still fine as a company, but I do think at least some positions within the staff need to change for the adaptation to be served justice, and justice being emphasized because naturally, as you see by the logo here, we have the green 4, and we have like this green image of a fairy, I believe, because in DanMachi, elves are typically associated with fairies, and we have the red flame, most likely signifying Hestia Familia or something related to Belle that will happen in season 4 related content. And it's going to be extremely exciting. As you can see right here, I have Ryu on top of my PS5 to celebrate the news. I'm still wary on the adaptation itself, based on season 2 and season 3, but again, we don't know what studio is in charge quite yet. There's still quite a bit of time, way more time than the distance between season 2 and season 3. Originally, season 3 was planned for summer 2020, which would have been less than a year away from when season 2 ended. So definitely, they're planning to spend more time on this, which I'm happy about. Now, the interesting thing about the production or potential production of season 4 is that one of the production companies behind the DanMachi franchise is Egg Firm, and I know in a previous video I talked about some studios I wish could get their hands on the franchise, like Wit Studio. That's a pipe dream. Bones probably is not a reality. A1 Pictures. And the production company behind DanMachi is Egg Firm, and they work with stuff like GA Bunko, the light novel publisher, and JC staff, all part of the production committee to get the anime contracted to be worked on. And the interesting thing about Egg Firm is that they made a studio themselves called Studio Bind, and Studio Bind is a relatively new studio. Again, Egg Firm made this along with some people from White Fox. They made Studio Bind to basically make Mushoku Tensei, and Mushoku Tensei so far has been an amazing adaptation in terms of just production quality. Like, you've seen any of the first few episodes have been premiering this season, like the art and animation quality is quite amazing if you see it. And there's a part of me that's like, hey, Egg Firm made this new studio, helped make it, Studio Bind. Mushoku Tensei looks pretty amazing right now, and I believe for Mushoku Tensei, the first core, I think they're splitting it up. The first 11 episodes are airing this current season, and I believe it's slated to return with the other half of the season in summer. But after that, after Mushoku Tensei is done, they need a new project. And it would be really cool to see if they took on season 4 of DanMachi, because as far as the light novel community, as with the Xenos arc, the novels it covers, volumes 9 through 11, in the light novel community, the people that read the DanMachi novels, it's a very popular arc. There are some people that didn't really like the Xenos angle, but as far as the content in season 4, what it will cover, volumes 12 through 14, and big focus on Ryu, my favorite character. That's why it's so exciting for me. But the majority of this content takes place in the dungeon. You're not going to see much of Hestia, and I know a lot of people don't really like Hestia that much, but she's not going to be involved that much at all. It is a dungeon story, which I think most people will appreciate. And there's going to be a lot of action, of course, because it is the dungeon. Most of it's taking place down there. So based off what JC Staff has done for Season 2 and Season 3, like, there are some bits of animation, some impressive cuts. Most of them are Aoki, an animator I've highlighted in previous videos. Like the fight against Asterius, when Leto and Bell were tag teaming against Dix. Those are particularly awesome looking cuts that Aoki animated himself. But I'm not sure if JC Staff has proven they're able to handle like a dungeon-based story where the entire season takes place down there. So if a different studio were to tackle the project of DanMachi Season 4, I'd be pretty cool with Studio Buying getting that as their next project after Mushoku Tensei. And again, I'm really hoping that Season 4 is more in the later half of 2022 and not in the first, so they're not trying to make it fast. Don't rush it out. There's not even that much content after Season 4 to begin with. Currently, the light novel in Japan is up to Volume 16. They did announce that Volume 17 is set to release in Japan in the spring, so the light novel is slowly getting more and more ahead, and maybe by the time that Season 4 does start airing, there will be more content for a potential Season 5, but I think that's really far and far away. The interesting thing about Season 4 and the afterword that Omori Sensei put into Volume 14, which is what would end Season 4, is that he said that this was originally the ending for the series. Now, I don't know like when he planned for Volume 14 to be the end of the series, because obviously there's so much world building going on. We already know what the end goal of DanMachi really is supposed to be, like the 3 great quests, the Black Dragon being the last thing that the world needs to see defeated. That's more than likely the end goal, so I'm really curious on when Omori Sensei decided that his story for 14 would not be the ending for DanMachi, because it seems like very early on in DanMachi that we know what the end goal is, so it was very strange to read that Volume 14 is where he planned to end the series. But I think, in a way, it would be a fitting end for the anime in terms of time, because after Season 4 finishes, I would think they want to give DanMachi some breathing space, just so more light novel content can come out, so they have some more content to adapt if they want to do more seasons. Though with this announcement of Season 4, it definitely seems like Sword of Retoria is not really going to be continued as an anime adaptation. They've been going beyond what the anime has covered in terms of adapting the light novel in the DanMachi mobile game Memoria Freze, so I assume that's just where Sword of Retoria is going to continue to be adapted, just through the mobile game. So in terms of anime, it seems like the main series is where it's at, but there is a particular mobile game story I would like to see animated after Season 4 due to what Season 4 will cover. I'm sure that Season 4 will incorporate some of the things from this particular mobile game scenario, and I apologize for dancing around it. I'm sure people that have played the mobile game or read light novels know what I'm talking about. I just don't want to spoil a certain group of characters' appearance in Season 4, so I'm just being very careful about that. And in addition to Season 4 being announced and Volume 17 being announced for Japan in spring. By the way, Yen Press, let's get a date for Volume 16, please. I don't want to be behind the light novel by 2 volumes. There's no excuse for that. It took almost a year for DanMachi Volume 14 to be released, and also Volume 15 to be released. it would be really strange for us to be behind 2 light novels with how long it's been taking to get the English releases out. So hopefully, Yen Press gets out Volume 16 before 17 releases in Japan. Anyway, they also announced a new game project. It's very vague. I'm really hoping it's a bit more ambitious than what we got with the latest console game, being Infinite Combate. I did the first impressions about that. It's really just a really mediocre game, but if you enjoy DanMachi, you might find some enjoyment out of it, but definitely check out my video to see if you want to bother with it. But yeah, I'm curious to see what this new game project is going to be. I'm really hoping it's way more ambitious than controlling chibi 3D characters in the dungeon crawling environment. At least give us some full-scale models this time. And finally, guys, they actually released a promotional video for the Season 3 OVA. You know, the one that made me initially mad because it's a Hot Springs OVA. Again, Season 1's OVA being Hot Springs in a dungeon. The second OVA being this weird tropical island getaway thing that I really don't ever want to see again. And then here's Season 3's OVA. It's Hot Springs, a resort appearing in Horario. And let's just give you guys the reaction. I've already seen it once, but let's show you guys the actual video. And of course, I'll leave links to all this stuff in the video description if you want to check it out yourself. And yeah, it is a Hot Springs OVA. It is that. But the thing about this, instead of like Season 2, not many characters, there's a ton of characters in this one, which is really strange to me. Like I said, initially I was really mad about this announcement because of a lot of stuff being skipped that I liked in Season 3. Like, why isn't this effort being put towards Season 3 and this? And we know why, right? Money. And look, Naza is going to be in this OVA. And it's hilarious because originally I thought the first season's OVA would be about Naza's side story that was skipped. So Naza finally gets her OVA. And Dion Keck's first anime appearance, Amid's Familia God, and Amid's first appearance in the main series, I believe. She was in Sword of Ritoria. Now, the interesting thing about this OVA is, again, all these characters being involved, and this, not this, guys. I was not expecting like this image. Like, this already seems way more fun than the first season OVA and the second season OVA. We got Miak Familia really involved. It looks like they're getting ready to do some like mission. I don't know what it is. I do like how Miak is dressed in here though. It's so cool. And I'm glad that Daphne and Cassandra are more involved in this OVA because they're where they were supposed to be in Season 3 was cut, and they are more involved in Season 4. So I think it would have been strange from an anime-only perspective for Daphne and Cassandra to not be involved at all in Season 3, and for them to be suddenly more important in Season 4. So if they have to do something with this OVA, I'm glad that they're at least including these characters, and it looks like an actual fun OVA. Like, we got so many characters. I see Tsubaki, Hephaestus, Aina, Hermes, Seer, Amazon Twins, Eyes. That looks like Dion Keck at the lightsaber. That there's some weird action going on. So strange. I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, the OVA will release in Japan on April 28th. I believe for Season 2's OVA, Sentai Filmworks was actually able to get it to release on their streaming service High Dive, like the same day the OVA came out in Japan. So hopefully it's a similar case here, where Sentai Filmworks is able to stream it on their service when the Season 3 OVA launches in Japan, because this is a physical sale. It's not going to be on any like Japanese TV channels. So yeah, this OVA, guys, you see those prices, like the Blu-ray 6,200 yen, DVD 5,100 yen. If we just go by the standard like 100 yen to 1 dollar USD conversion rate, that's like $60 for one OVA. That's probably like 24 minutes long. So anime's expensive in Japan. But yeah, guys, that is the news from GA Fest, their 15th anniversary. Lots of DanMachi stuff. Season 4 is coming. Again, I really hope they take their time on this. I am really hoping they don't try to rush this one out, because this is my favorite arc in DanMachi. A lot of that has to do with Ryu being my favorite character and her being a big focus in the content that Season 4 will cover, volumes 12 through 14. But yeah, it's hopefully it's in a good spot. And again, I do hope for a change in staff at the very least, because I don't really like how Season 2 and Season 3 were handled overall. Studio bind is the thing to keep in mind, but they're working on Mushoku Tensei right now, and who knows how much time to need to work on that. I think the second part of it will air in summer, so between the time when summer ends and when DanMachi Season 4 is supposed to air, maybe that is enough time for Studio Bind to work on stuff, because they do need a project after Mushoku Tensei, and I think DanMachi Season 4 is the perfect thing for them, especially with the production quality we've seen so far out of Mushoku Tensei. But yeah, those are my hopes. I'm curious on what you guys think about Season 4 being announced right now. Are you excited? Again, if you want to get into the light novels, I highly recommend doing it. I have a video about pretty much everything in DanMachi, and in that video I explain where you can jump into the light novel based on where you are in the anime, or just where you want to start. Again, if you finish Season 3 and you want to pick up on where Season 4 is going to start, pick up Volume 12, though I highly suggest reading the Xenos arc from the beginning at the very least with Volume 9. And if not, if you don't want to read like 6 light novels, at least read Volume 11 of DanMachi, which is the conclusion of the arc, because I believe that the conclusion to the Xenos arc is something you really need to actually read the source material for, because I don't believe the anime version did it the justice that it deserves. But that's my opinion. Anyway, guys, comment below on your thoughts about all these announcements. I'll be back with more DanMachi material in the future. Thank you for checking out the video. If you want to see more DanMachi and light novel content, go ahead and sub to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord. And as always, continue enjoying your time adventuring in Aurario and the dungeon. This is Lorne, your guild advisor, signing out. 渦を巻く雨雲から差し込んだまっすぐな強い